So I will say, before we get officially started, in defense of my doctor, every time I came back to him, he's in defense of my dentist, he said, Randy, we glued your teeth in so it would be a temporary fix. You were supposed to come back like 3 weeks later to get the real teeth, but instead I would wait 3 years at a time. So note to self, don't walk around with glued in teeth. Get them replaced. Yes.
This is we start these webinars off with logic by Randy.
We do.
I'm gonna start writing quotes down. We're gonna call them Randyisms. And so this is just going forward. We're just gonna put Randyism.
Randyism number 1. Go to the dentist.
Yes.
Go to the dentist and don't glue your teeth in. Yeah.
Glue is not a long-term solution.
You know what? I'm writing that down right now. Glue is not a long-term solution.
Hey.
For some pen.
Go ahead, finish, Randy, and then we're going to start our webinar.
for someone who flies planes, you should probably know glue isn't a long-term solution.
Yeah, I do, but I'm just writing this. This is perfect. I'm using this later.
And for everyone that is joining us, all of you, please, please, please tell us where you're from. Welcome to our LabCoatAgents fun webinars that we have. And this is all about how to attract more business and close more deals through your website. And none other than awesome Brett Baker is here, my favorite person in Chime, as well as Randy. Thank you so much, as always, for coming on board, giving us some great education and insight how to close more deals. I love it. Love talking to you guys. And please do let us know where you're from in the chat box. We've got all the way, aloha from Maui. We were just talking about that, where my family, we want to go on vacation. That's awesome. So we've got Castle Rock, Colorado.
Love it. Fan from Castle Rock. Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Los
If you're Game of Thrones fans, you'll get it.
There's so many of them are coming on.
Yes.
So, yep, come on in. And don't forget, if you do need to leave a little early, that's okay, because we are always on recording, and it'll be posted on our YouTube channel, LabCoatAgents. And with that said, let's start. So, Randy, no more teeth talk.
No more teeth talk.
By Randy.
Over. No, but I am excited for this topic because I know how important an agent's website is. Right? It's undervalued, but also highly valued by some. Right? And the power that it has for your business. Whenever you're looking for a service, what's the first thing you do, right? You Google it. When you hear, when I drive down the street and I see a business, I Google it, right? So your website is your online billboard, but there are so many agent real estate websites today. There's so many just in terms of sheer volume. And then there's the select few that have millions and millions of dollars spent on getting traffic, right? So how do you make your website stand out in the crowd? And I was thinking about this, and I know Brett did a fantastic job creating a super niche website that generates tons of leads that he does not have to spend a lot of money on, if any at all. So I know that Brett does offer a course in this, but I got him to agree to come on today to share this information with you. So
I am totally excited about this, Randy, because I want to learn more about, I'm always paying attention. Brett, okay, where is he? Like a little oh, there he is. All right, let's go. Let's connect. Because he has such good, awesome insights. And for those of you who are listening, Brett Baker is amazing with Chime, and he's shared some great tidbits with us. So I really want to learn, about a little bit about generated leads, a little bit about SEOs. How can we stand apart from our competition?
Sure. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we got Teeth Talk with Randy, and now I have to transition from Teeth Talk to trust, because that's kind of what all of this is based on, is trust.
Trust,
And
yeah.
so trust is the key to a successful website. Trust is the key to generating leads, and trust is the key to closing deals. And I think today we should really focus on the top two, the successful website and generating leads. So to understand how we build trust with a website, we have to first understand where we stand as an industry and where we came from. And I know that's kind of like, well, why are we looking back when we should just be looking forward? And the reason we're looking back is because we don't want to replicate the same mistakes we did back then. And a lot has changed. I mean, if you look 20 years ago, real estate 20 years ago doesn't look like what it looks like now. In fact, real estate 5 years ago looks nothing like it does now. The old school kind of methods, they're pretty much gone. If you really look at today, like back in the day, listings were held in like an MLS book. So if you had a lead that wanted to find out housing information, they either had to call you or they had to come into your office. I don't know about you guys, but not a lot of people stop by the office these days,
No.
especially with COVID.
It's
So-
either through Zoom or everything is all online. Even listing appointments at times have taken them online, right?
Exactly.
Like on Zoom, yeah.
Yeah. And so, we got into the internet age, right? People were able to search online for homes, and the agents' like call to action was, we were able to have an IDX feed that people were able to search like a real estate agent on a real estate agent's MLS. And that was like a huge thing. Of course, that was like what 98? And that was really big. And so were like animated GIFs. Randy, get with the times. Then we kind of moved into like the early 2000s, right? And the big players came into the field. We had the Zillows pop into the field. We had the Realtor.coms, the Trulias. And the agent kind of responded with, my site updates faster than Zillow. And that was it. Like they were like, we update faster than Zillow. And that's where it stopped. And it really hasn't progressed much from there. Then we started bombarding people with ads on like interruptive style ads on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if you remember those days. I remember those days back in the beginning of it when you were able to like run one ad and everyone's like, oh my God, these are all the houses in that area. And they'd like jump on your website. Problem is they didn't have a lot of trust with you.
Mm-hmm.
Not much has changed. We're really fast forward to about 2005 and then everything stopped in 2005 and it's kind of maintained about the same. I got into real estate in 2015. I'm not a lifetime real estate agent at all. In fact, I came from a completely different industry. I came from aviation. I was a pilot and then I was an air traffic controller with Federal Aviation Administration at some of the busiest airports in the US. And you're like, dude, how did you go from there to real estate?
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah. So I moved to this like little town in Eastern Washington and I called a real estate sign and then I called like 4 or 5 others because I was trying to buy a house. And one dude called me back 2 days later and he happened to be the busiest agent in the area. And I'm like, it took you 2 days to call me back? Like, dude, if I was in Southern California right now, dude, an agent would have flown over the top of my house in a helicopter, rappelled down and been like, can I get you in the house? It's like, dude, I didn't even call you. It was just this eye opener that a lot of areas they weren't as fast paced and they weren't as gung ho about getting into it. And I was kind of burned out at that point. They say that air traffic control is the second most stressful job in the US, and it was pretty darn stressful. So I got out of that. And I think the thing is I got into real estate because I saw a huge disconnect in the marketing of a real estate agent. Everybody was stuck kind of in 2005. And, everybody says, well, you had like a secret formula and you had like magic training. I didn't have either of those. I was just a guy that saw a problem and I created a solution for it.
No,
and the solution.
You knew everyone in Eastern Washington. That was it.
Yeah. I had zero sphere of influence. I knew one other person and that was it. I didn't know anybody. So when everybody's like, oh, you have this huge SOI, I'm like, no, I knew like one person and a bartender. And that was pretty much it.
And I want to go back to when you said 2 days later, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now we teach to where speed to lead or lead to speed, right? How important is that? Right.
So I brought that to my area. I brought speed to lead to my area, which is really weird to say in 2015 that I brought speed to lead to my area.
And
but
if
here's
you're
the
not
deal.
doing that, and if you're not doing that, well, I wouldn't say shame on you, but hey, the lead is coming saying, hey, I'm here, hand raising and saying, I'm ready, I need some help, and you're not calling them back. What's wrong with this picture? You know, it's
really funny because that is still happening. I'm actually in the process of moving right now, and one of the things that we did was I did the same thing. You know, I always call listing signs. I'm that guy. I'm also registered on like 40 different IDX websites. But I called a listing sign to do this whole thing again, and nobody called me back. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So it exists. And it's like, we can all be on this call right now and be like, how do people not do that? But people in your area are not calling other people back. Like it happens everywhere. And so we have to step back and we go, okay, well, how do we fix that, right? Like, how do we, the whole point of this webinar is to build trust with people. How do we use our website to build trust? How do we generate leads? And I think, you know, there's two things that I could pinpoint like right now that you could do today to generate more trust with your website, and then how to handle your follow-up on top of that. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my two things right now. The first is get really, really granular hyperlocal. And I know people are gonna be like, hyperlocal, what the heck do you mean by hyperlocal? I'm gonna change my own question, and I'm gonna answer it a different way. I get asked all the time, how do I beat Zillow? Like if I meet an agent in the street and they're like, how do I beat Zillow? Because Zillow seems to be like everywhere and everybody wants to beat Zillow. People use Zillow, customers use Zillow because it gives them exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for new properties that match the area and the search that they are looking for. That is all they do. They don't send lemon meringue pie recipes. I have a lot of those in my email right now. So if you need a really good one, I have a really good lemon meringue pie recipe.
Wow. Send them over, please.
So, you got it. I'll have them to you right after this. Apple pie, lemon meringue. Agents seem to bombard me with these. They don't realize that I can't eat those. So it's all good.
And see, that's, and again, sorry to cut you off, Brett, but here's the thing, apple meringue, apple pie, and these recipe cards, and just sold cards, do something different. Tear yourself apart from other, you know, take the other road and do something different because people like that. Right.
I think the thing is, for some reason, agents haven't like they've adopted this older school mindset, which works. Don't get me wrong. For a lot of people, that works.
Right.
I have never sent a lemon meringue pie recipe in my entire life. Right. Never once, never sent an apple pie. Because I progressed with technology. Because leads have changed a lot since, you know, the last 20 years. So if you look, like we just talked about, things have changed in the last 5 years. So there used to be a much more personal connection with that lead. That person had to have a conversation with you. That person had to come into your office. Then let's fast forward a little bit. That person, like, they were reactive to advertisement. They're not as reactive as they were. And so it takes a little bit longer to get in front of people. And the thing is, when you do that, you have a dozen agents that are trying to reach out to this one lead because they don't just register on one website. They'll register on multiple. How are you differentiating yourself? So the easiest ways to do this is really, like I said, hyperlocal. Okay, so what is hyperlocal? Hyperlocal is knowing your area better than the big portals, knowing your area better than anybody else, and being the area expert that someone looks up and they're like, oh my God, this guy knows everything about this area. Because right now, there are major companies out there spending millions and millions of dollars a month to make sure that you don't outrank them on Google for long tail keywords, for short tail keywords. They have content creators, right? They have bots, they have teams of analysts that are all trying to ensure that their site ranks at the top, and they have the budget to be able to do that. They're researching keywords, they're tracking what people are searching for. Like, they're going all in on this. We can't do that. Even with a huge, massive team of people, that's really, really tough for an individual agent to be able to do. Most agents are able to spend about $600 on an IDX website, sometimes more, sometimes less, depends on the agent. You don't have a team of content creators, bots, teams of analysts that are telling you what to spend money on. It's you, usually you and an assistant, maybe you, an assistant, and maybe a multimedia person on your team.
Right.
But that's pretty much it. Janky, you're like you have like more VAs than anybody I've ever met. And you have, like, even with the people that you have on your staff, you don't have people that are out there, okay, these are the keywords that you need to focus on today. We're going to write all the content for this right now, and you're going to push this out today, and that's going to keep you up here. Tomorrow, it's changing. We're going to have to do this all again tomorrow. You don't have that, because we as agents can't do that. So it is truly unlikely, unless you are just absolutely, all you do is write articles. You will not outrank the major players in the industry. Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, they're pretty impossible to beat.
So
that
how?
said,
Right. I want to know. I'm impatient.
I know, I'm working on it.
Tell me, dang it.
I have VAs to feed.
You can outrank your competition, and you can beat the major players at their own game by getting hyperlocal. So, okay, so let's talk about, like, okay, Brett, give me an example of how to get hyperlocal. I'm asking the questions for you guys. Like, come on, wrap up, bud. Come on.
Hey, I'm gonna go take a seat. I'm gonna go hang out. I'll let you handle this.
Exactly. Brett, you got it. You're in control. Let's go. Hyperlocalism. Let's talk about that. Hyperlocalism. I guess more like niche market, right? Get deeper into, just don't focus on every other area. Get very, very local, very nitty-gritty, 5 mile, 10 mile, 12 miles, whatever it is. Right. Hyperlocal. That's what it means.
Sellers and buyers tend to choose real estate agents that are best informed on the area, the local market. They have an understanding and an understanding of the unique value of the area that they're operating within. Okay. According to, like, a national study, and I like pulling statistics. Statistics are, like, one of my favorite things in the whole world. 45% of consumers said the number one reason that they picked an agent was that they knew the market and the neighborhood that they were looking in. Now let's think about that for a second, because how many of us think it's something else? Like, we all think it's, oh, because I have the most Google reviews, or I have this, or I have that. If you focus on, like, local schools, local market data, neighborhood businesses, you have a better chance of building trust with your potential clients. And I mean, it's one of those things where I'm trying to think, like, how to explain this on, like, a really easy thing for you. Randy, I know you love food, right? You love food more than pretty much anybody I've ever met. Every time you and I talk, it's about food. Anytime you visited down in, like, SoCal, all your life is, okay, I'm going to this restaurant, then I'm going to this restaurant.
It's true.
Okay, so how do you find information about the food you're going to eat? Do you just Yelp it? Do you just, like, wing it? Word of mouth? What do you do?
I'm generally a Googler and a Yelper. I'll do both of those.
Me too.
I'll use Yelp and Google.
Okay.
Yeah,
so when you guys go travel, you look for food, right? Because what's the one thing we can all agree on? Food. Like, all of us can. It doesn't matter politically where you stand. It doesn't matter anything where you stand. Everybody can agree on food. Like, everybody, except for Randy and I, we disagree on meat in general. So Randy's not a fish guy. I'm a fish guy.
If I can see the ocean, I like fish. But here in Atlanta, I'm gonna stick with my hot wings.
So Brett, I like hot wings. You see, I'm telling you, I'm a foodie too. I'm not kidding you. I love to eat.
I think we should start our own little thing where all we do is talk about food with different agents.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. That would be our niche.
Okay, that's our thing. The three of us, we have our thing now. Okay, cool. We're good now. Well, that's what we're gonna do. Join us on a future episode of Let's Talk Food. But no, seriously, the thing is, food works really well. And whenever someone comes to an area, whenever they're moving to an area, I'll use where I worked up in Washington. I'm gonna use this as a great example. Nobody moves to Pasco, Washington. Nobody. Like, I mean, they are now, because they're all moving from Seattle. But when I was there, no one was moving there unless they got transferred there for something. And we had, like, 3 major employers up there. So what's the first thing you think happened when the spouse came home and said, hey, we're moving to Pasco, Washington? The other side of the family hopped on Google and then went, places to eat in Pasco, Washington, things to do in Pasco, Washington. And, like, you'd see Google reviews, but what if there was somebody out there actually doing, like, a video on different restaurants? What if there was a video on different businesses? And that's exactly what I did, is I went in and I got really hyper local with food. I went to every mom and pop restaurant. I avoided every chain restaurant in my area. Randy would go to one chain restaurant probably in his area and would recommend it to everybody. And it's a sign that he usually has hanging behind him. I like mom and pop restaurants because I like helping other business people out. I like trying to get in and tell the world about their food and their business.
So let me tell you what happened, Brett, really quickly.
Okay.
Sorry. So there's a local diner here, and we used to go there before COVID happened, just 2 minutes away from my home. And we used to go there, at least twice or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Love their salads, love their chicken wings and their French fries. And I used to be a big fan of all of that junk food. I still am. But let me tell you something. She was coming up with a sandwich. My husband is a vegetarian. She was coming up with a sandwich. She goes, what would you like? You're right. She says, what would you like on your sandwich? And he says, oh, I like avocado. I like this. I like whatever. And she goes, you know what? Now this is an awesome sandwich. I can make this. So she made it. She bought it out. She goes, this is really good. I want to put it on my menu. And my team was there with her, with us. And everybody says the J Team sandwich. And she's like, I love that name. To this day, that sandwich name is the J Team sandwich. So whenever I
love it.
The restaurant is completely full. She's like, you don't want to know what the J Team is? Right here. And I'm like, hello, So it's good to know. It's good to hear that, first thing, like you said, places to eat is the first thing they Google, whether they're on Yelp or but what if your page came up? What if your videos came up first when they Google this, right?
Right. And that's, so if you go Google Spotlight on Tri-Cities, you can see everything that I was doing when I was doing it. And basically you pull up and now all of a sudden it becomes this person has a lot of information on all of this food. Wow, they have a lot of information on this area. Wow, they really know this area. Oh, interesting. Okay, so now we start talking like, okay, well, how do I incorporate that into a website? Let's say I make a landing page I'm going to use Richland, Washington as an example. And on that landing page for Richland, Washington, I'm going to have in there, oh, hey, if you're in the food for a sandwich, go check out Gray's down on the Richland Parkway. Want a cupcake? Check out Frost Me Sweet. Want some great Thai food? Go try Thai, whatever. I think it was Thai Bistro. You can go after all of that and put all of that information on a landing page.
Right.
Now, when people are searching for areas, they're going to start pulling that kind of stuff up, and they'll start realizing, wow, you really know your stuff. Do a quick video on it. Literally, it's a cell phone and you talking. You don't need a full media team. Anybody can do this.
And the best part about Chime would be to put this on a landing page. Let's talk about that. But that being said, Chime is offering a free personal demo, an exclusive discount to LCA members. There's a link that Tessa just posted. I'm going to put myself on mute because I've got 2 dogs here barking at the kids.
Oh, that was you? I thought that was
Brett. That was you?
No,
usually people assume me.
I thought that was you.
My American Eskimo, whenever my son or my daughter comes home, they're crazy after them, So I'm going to mute myself now. So take it away, Brett.
Yeah, no sweat. I think the thing is, big companies don't know your area like you know your area, right? They don't know where the best places are to live. They don't know the local businesses. They don't know the things to do in your area. They can only get so local in an area, and they can't get granular like you can. Beat them at their own game, right? Beat them at their own game. Beat the other agents at their own game by focusing your website on being the source for local information, businesses, food, outdoor activities. Let's say you live in, I'm gonna throw another one of my favorite places on earth out there. Let's say you live in Durango, Colorado. I know we had a Castle Rock, Colorado, but if we have anybody in Durango, Colorado, if you are not focusing on the mountain bike scene there, you are missing out on probably one of the biggest potentials, because a lot of people that are really into mountain biking move to your area because that's some of the best mountain biking in the world. If you operate in Park City, Utah, and you're not focusing on the where to go to avoid crowds while skiing, you are missing out on one of the biggest things you could do, because people like me will Google that before we come out there. And then if we start finding these local spots, one of the airports that I worked at, I was a radar controller out in Salt Lake City. And my other half, well, my ex-wife and I lived out in Park City, Utah. And when we went out there, the first thing that I Googled was like, all right, I'm thinking about moving out to Park City, but let's see if the trails were any better out there. I settled on Park City because I researched that area and was like, ooh, how do you think I found my agent? They're a huge mountain biker. So I found them through mountain biking. When I moved up to Eastern Washington and that guy called me back, he was really into wine. I'm really into wine. So you meet people that are like-minded. If you love to do stuff outside, post about it. If you love food, post about it. If you love wine, post about it. And then talk about the areas that are in your area that other people would enjoy. Janky, you love dogs. I love dogs, right?
A
lot of us have dogs.
You love fish. I love wine, Napa Valley, right around the corner, the vineyard.
There you go.
There you
So
go.
in your area, I'd tell you, okay, great, you have dogs. Go take your dogs to the local dog parks and take video of your dog enjoying the dog park. Hey, I'm over here at this dog park. You know, it's about 1,000 square feet, kind of a small one, but it has all these cool agility courses. Or let's talk wine. Go to the smaller vineyards. Hey, let me tell you about this winery. Let me tell you about this specific wine that's here. You've really got to come and try this wine out. It's little things like that when you start incorporating those into your website and into the landing pages. And yeah, I love Chime because Chime, I can build out landing pages. I mean, just one after the other. And you can have 10,000 landing pages that are all very niche.
And Brett, let me ask you this, Randy, also to you. When in your landing pages, you can also post videos.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, you can post videos you've recorded.
Yeah, and you can post those videos that Brett was just talking about. Take a dog park, video, mountain biking videos, and say, hey, this is what we do here.
Right.
You know, go to the. I know Tessa loves Carmel by the sea, and it's right around the corner from here. Well, not right, about an hour away, but just drive by the beach, Pacific Coast Highway. Highway 1.
Absolutely.
I mean, how awesome is that?
The big takeaway for me is find something that you love and you enjoy, right? So Brett loves food, wine, and mountain biking. So now we all know that about Brett, if you didn't know that before, right? But pick what you really enjoy doing, right? So one of the things I Google all the time is when I go somewhere is what's the best patio bar somewhere. I love to sit on a patio and enjoy a cold one, right? So figure out whatever it is that you really enjoy. And the reason why I tell you to start there is because it is hard to do this in the beginning. It is really hard. It is a slow grind. If you're looking for immediate results, just pass on by this, right? Keep going.
Isn't that with everything in real estate? Any kind of lead generation we do, it's a slow grind. And once you get it, it's like, okay, now I'm trying to keep up, right? And that's what I love about Chime. It's you plug, you play, it's like a plug and play type of thing, right? Play and play.
It really is.
So to finish my point real quick, the reason why I tell you to pick something you love is because it's a slow grind and not fun at the very beginning. If it's something you don't enjoy doing, you're not going to continue doing it, right? You're going to stop before you even get started. So
now here's something kind of fun that ties all this in for you. So you have build all these landing pages out. Let's say you make a landing page for each place that you love, each dog park, for example. You now have interlinking in your pages. So let's say that there's like 5 dog parks in one of your cities that you work. Put all 5 of those on your main city page and interlink all those pages together. Now, when people come onto your website, they're going to scroll page to page to page to page to page, and they just stay longer. The longer they stay, the more trust you build. The more trust you build when they do register as a lead, the easier time you're going to have getting a hold of them because they're already going to trust you. And now you have the ability to get in front of them and gain their business. So it's a long-term strategy, but it works really well.
Right. But in another thing, Brett, what you just said, and it's a great takeaway, guys, is that the landing pages, it takes time, but at the same time, you're letting everyone know, hey, I'm the expert. I'm the expert in this local area. I'm the expert when it comes to, hey, what do you like to do? Where things to do, places to go, favorite restaurants to eat. I mean, you could just go massively into this, and you know, you can eventually start ranking up on Google, and you
Right.
know, there it is. It's all
You
within
can
a
also
few
use
minutes'
those
time.
you can use those landing pages and the videos that you create. You can make Facebook ads for those. So now instead of just catching people, we all want to stay top of mind with people. Here's a great way to stay top of mind. Instead of, you know, doing pop buys and what have you, instead of, you know, farming an area specifically, you can now farm businesses, and you can use those videos that you create now to go through and farm an entire city with those. Because, hey, did you check out this new opening? Like when we were doing Spotlight on Tri-Cities, it was really fun. I got called before a new restaurant even opened. We did a spotlight on one guy's business. He goes, hey, I'm opening this bar. Do you want to come do a spotlight on that? Because we got a really good turnout from your last one. Like, can you come do another one? So we got the exclusive, like, come do this before we even opened. The news hadn't even announced they were opening. And we're pushing a spotlight out. Hey, check out Pasco's newest restaurant. I mean, it was on top of that. Then he went and started another bar. We got to do it again. And it was one of those things where you want to talk about how do we get 35,000 views on one of our Facebook ads? That's how we get 35,000 views on one of our Facebook ads. How many deals did we pull from that? A few. Trackable deals, a few from that. But here's the best part. That's how you get name recognition. That's how, I mean, there's no secret sauce to this. It's just be in the right place at the right time. And the way you get in the right place at the right time is by focusing on things that other people won't touch. And people right now are like, I don't want to do that. That's going to take forever. I'm reading John's question right now. Can you create landing pages in Chime that have different requirements for registration? John, you 100% can. 60 seconds for one page, 5 minutes for another page. You can set it up on each individual page if you want to. And I love doing that.
One other thing I do want to mention to everyone that's here, Chime is offering a free personal demo and exclusive discount to LCA members here. So please click on that link right there. But really, Chime has changed my business, Brett, to so many different levels. I'm now going to, and I'm so glad I did this, because now I'm going to implement these pages. And guess what? We're in Tri-Cities over here as well. We're known as the Tri-Cities as well. So
that's great.
I might just steal your spotlight.
You should.
Yes.
I'm on record.
Yes.
Well said. That was well
The new
said.
queen of Tri-Cities. Let's go.
I love it.
Know, right, Tri-Cities right over here.
That's so funny.
So
I mean, at the end of the day, having an IDX website these days is like having a 100 by 200 foot billboard in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Nobody is going to see it unless you give them a reason to drive by it.
Exactly.
Okay. I want to end my part of this kind of with a little bit of a story about something that I had kind of growing up, and you can kind of you'll see the tie. Growing up, there was this beef jerky stand. Now, I know your husband's vegetarian. I am essentially plant-based. I eat fish once in a blue moon, but otherwise I'm 100% plant-based. I am the least likely person to see a beef jerky stand. Randy would stop at any beef jerky stand, including like a 7-Eleven. Like, that dude loves beef jerky more than anybody I've ever met. He has eaten enough beef jerky to like offset what I don't eat. Okay.
Wow.
But there's this beef jerky stand on the way to Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort up off of 395. If you've ever driven to Mammoth, you like go up 395, you pass this beef jerky stand, you could like blink and you'd miss it, along with the town that's right after it. I mean, it has like a dry erase population sign. Nobody is there. Over the years, this beef jerky stand kind of looks kind of dilapidated. It's in like an old gas station that looked like it was falling down. Like, you wouldn't want to go into that building. But over the years, someone took over their marketing, and it was some new guy that might have been his son, might have been a family member, who knows. But they got really, really creative with this guy's marketing. And I kid you not, as you approach this town, you start seeing signs. First, it's like once every half mile. Then it becomes every quarter mile. Then it becomes every 1,000 feet. Then it's every 500 feet, then every 100 feet. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, there's so many signs. Like, what the heck is going on here? Now, here's the thing. The last time I went up there, which was a few years ago, I looked as I was driving through, and there was a line literally wrapped all the way around the gas station for this.
Wow.
All these years, no one has ever been there. And now there's this line out the door. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Of course I stopped. Like, why am I not going to stop? If there was a line out the door, maybe they're giving stuff away, and I'll at least give it away to my friends. Yeah, they weren't giving it away. They were selling it. The line was about 95 people deep. I went inside. I don't even eat beef jerky, and I bought like $300 worth of beef jerky, and I gave it away to all my friends.
Wow.
If they thought it was that good, if there were that many people that thought it was that good, it had to have been good. So gave it away to all my friends. They devoured it in about 5 minutes. They're like, that's the best beef jerky I've ever had. How did you find this? I'm like, you know those stupid signs on the way up? They're like, oh my God, the annoying signs you see for like 20 miles. I'm like, that one. They're like, Gus's beef jerky? I'm like, yeah. So if you go online right now and go to, I think it's www.freshjerky.com. Go there right now. Yeah, order some. Seriously, I don't eat the product, but it's really good from what I've been told.
So you see what you're saying again. Look at the marketing they did. Signs everywhere, and we do that for, right. And we do that for open houses, right?
Right.
Every corner, put a sign in. So when people see signs, and people used to tell me, "Oh my God, I see your signs everywhere in Fremont." That is, again, it's like a strategy, right? It's a marketing strategy. Same thing with landing pages. What are you trying to create, right? Hyperlocal, go really hyperlocal and get those restaurants, those things to do, the this, the that, and put it all together. Now, again, obviously it's a process. It takes time. The beauty of that is Chime helps us get there because of the landing pages we can create, right?
Right. I mean, my point is basically your website, let's say a Chime site, it's a lot like Gus's Fresh Jerky, okay?
Yes.
Nobody knows about it until you drive somebody to it.
Mm-hmm.
No one is going to know about your website until you give them a reason to go onto your website. And it's not because you have the most up-to-date real estate information in the entire area. It's not anymore. You have to give them a new reason for that, right? Gus had to pay rent on his abandoned gas station. It's probably the same cost as what you'd be paying on a Chime website. Probably about the same price. But the truth is, Gus had to attract people that were doing 70 miles an hour down the highway. You have to create ads online that are going to get people to pay attention to you. How do you get people to pay attention to you? Do something different. Focus on things in your area that people aren't focusing on. Drive them to a landing page, and now they're on your website, and they're staying there for a long time.
So there's another thing also with Chime, and it's the saved searches. Now we're going off topic, but the whole thing is bringing them back to your site.
Correct.
Do the saved searches and get them back to your site. Look at the open rates you get from that, and we've, our open rates have gone from nothing to quite a bit. And so again, getting them back to your site, that's what it's all about. And I know, talking about beef jerkies, Jake says, yeah, he's the same. He loves beef jerky. So he's right. Yeah. Jake, oh my gosh, you need to go to this place. Did you hear about it? Well, I'm telling you.
So the saved searches, when you think about a saved search for a minute, one, here's like the three critical things about saved search. One, if you're sending people properties, make sure they're relevant to what they're searching for. I see so many people that are like, I'm going to put them on a saved search, send them everything. That's how you get people to delete those emails. Yeah. Okay. So make sure it's very, very highly targeted to what they're looking for. The first conversation I ever have with someone on the phone or anything that I use, any automation, I expect it to be, hey, saw you registered on the website. How can I adjust the properties that I'm sending you to be the most relevant? The last thing that I want to do is send you spam. And I tell them that right out of the gate, like, hey, thanks for registering on the website. I really want to get this set up properly for you, so it only sends you properties that you want to see. I don't want to send you stuff you don't want to see. That's a critical number one, okay? And that's like trick number one, the lead generation. Everybody's like, what are your tricks? Here's my trick. Send them relevant properties.
Right.
Number two, with Chime's smart plans, educate, don't bombard.
Yes.
And everybody goes, what? Okay, educate. We have done a really great job of confusing clients. Really great job. In like way back in real estate, I mean, let's be honest here. A real estate transaction is really not that difficult. Like, I mean, we're not launching missiles. We're selling real estate. Yeah, sure. There are some really rough parts, right? It's a lot. There are some rough parts. We've all had the transactions. We all know. But most of the transactions, it's like, okay, we paid a lot of money to do this. That wasn't bad. Okay. But here's the deal. Oh my God, I totally just got off topic. So sorry about that.
I was just about to say, hey, Brett, get back on topic. Don't squirrel away.
Okay. So here's the deal though, okay? So what we should do now is we should focus, like when you have someone that registers on your website, send them education. Educate them on your process, not educate them on every process. Educate them on your process to buying or selling a home. If they're a seller lead that comes in, great. Walk them through how you sell a house. Start at the very beginning, go all the way to closing. Here is how we close houses. Okay, great, that's number one. Number two, the buy side of things. Walk them through the buying process. Simplify it down onto like a 5th grade level, because we all use terms, right? We all have this. And I've heard agents that just rattle stuff off to clients that you're like, oh my God, like, I don't even know what you just said. And I've been doing this industry, like I'm in this industry. What did you just say? Like, to simplify it, don't confuse people.
Right.
Those should be your drips that you're sending out to people.
Exactly.
Those should be videos.
And terminology, like you just said, dumb it down. They don't know what contingencies are. They don't know COE. What does that mean?
Right.
The initial deposit. Oh, is that the down payment?
Right.
They don't know, and rightfully so. They're not in our industry. They don't do this anymore. So create those smart plans as well. Just like, you know, building those landing pages, and Chime has, it's all in one, it's all right there. And that's again, what I love about Chime. Again, the link is right there, you guys. Free demo, let's go, let's do this.
Number 3, automate like crazy.
I agree.
Automate like crazy. And it doesn't matter if you run an ISA model or if you don't run an ISA model, if you have an assistant or you don't have an assistant. Here's the deal. There's what I call $20 an hour tasks. I don't know if you guys have ever sat down and figured out what you cost an hour, but you probably shouldn't be doing $20 an hour tasks.
Yes.
I love automation. I know you both love automation. Janky, you use automation, then you hand it off to an assistant to even get even more.
Yes.
Before it comes to you, it's like the doctor office mentality.
Yes.
And that's amazing, by the way.
And thank you. And you know, Brett, who told me that, one of my cousins who's a doctor.
Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Because by the time it gets to you, like, I mean, it's kind of funny because I've looked at your model several times. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much overhead. I'd like lose my mind. But the truth is, by the time it gets to you, your cost per hour is through the roof, because you're only working with people at that point that are so ready to go, that they've gone through the automation that Chime offers, which is utterly mind-blowingly amazing. Right, exactly. It's gone through your VAs, who are utterly mind-blowingly amazing, and then they've gotten to you,
which I have trained mind-blowingly amazingly.
Yeah, well, yes. That to me is like magic. I don't know how you do that.
I'll share that with you.
You should share that with me, because
absolutely.
That would probably save me a lot of time and a lot of coffee.
Let me tell you something. Last weekend, I had my second dose, and guess what? I had it on a Saturday.
I saw that. My
calendar was full of 26 appointments.
It knocked you out.
26 phone appointments, you guys. Yeah. So my director of ops says, okay, only set it up for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Guys, move it. I'm like, no, don't move anything. Yeah. I was talking to them, building up my energy as much as I could, but I was exhausted. Out of that, okay, I converted out of the 26 appointments we had, 7 follow-ups. 7 went to our buyer's agents. We had the rest of them as follow-ups buying in the next 2 months. All right, 2 to 3 months. So amazing. Exactly. And where it's all coming from? This is all coming from not landing pages, but our generated leads, right? Yep. Of course, so the sources we have, but this is another leg that I want to add on is, you know, generating those leads with landing pages. I've been really dying to do that. And that's going to be really a key eye opener for our team as well.
I will share that with you as well. I want to know how you do the VA thing. I'll teach you how I do
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
I think the thing is, Chime has made what I've been talking about, what you've been talking about, what we've all been talking about in this webinar. Chime has made this so simple. Yes. And I just want to, I mean, people are like, yeah, Brett, you're talking about Chime, yay. Okay, I want to clarify. I've used everything under the sun. I am like always looking for the next best thing. I am that guy that is always like squirrel. You know, I'm the dog from Up.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm that guy. So anytime there's something new and shiny, I'm looking at it. I've used Real Geeks, Boomtown, Servato. I can name Easy Agent Pro. I've used them all. I've used everything. The reason why I love Chime is a one-stop shop. It is a one-stop for everything.
Yes.
You don't have to have 27 things working for you.
And Brett, we just started our expansion team in New Jersey. And
did you really?
I did. We did. We'll talk about that later. But what I'm trying to say right now is Randy, I called him and I said, okay, I need to get this done. I have 5 agents that are joining me in New Jersey. I need help. And he's like, all right, the broker, what is it? The broker package is what you need. I'm like, okay, set me up, and done. Boom. We have 2 teams that are on the broker platform, but that's the beauty of Chime. And again, the link is right there. But you know what? If you did miss this webinar, or anyone that you know that might have missed this, it is available on our YouTube channel, LCA, right? LabCoatAgents. And most of it, please subscribe to our LabCoatAgents YouTube, because we've got some great valuable information there. And just to clarify, everyone that's here, I do not get paid from Chime. I just love talking about Chime. Neither does Brett. We love talking about Chime because we have been successful and we're here to share. You know, last week there was someone that posted in Chime forum, Brett, I don't know if you saw this, but said, what is the difference between Chime and KV Core? You know, and I don't know, but Adam knows.
And I do.
I don't know as much. Yeah, there you go. And Adam said, I looked at every little detail. And I can tell you that I just, from the time I started KV Core, I said, nope, nothing, just as an overview, didn't like it. They don't have the options of landing pages, I don't think, as much as, you know, Chime does. And it's not that user friendly. Here, it's just
correct.
Plug and play, you know.
The thing that I love about, if I could sum up Chime, and like, if you've even thought about, if you look at your IDX provider and you go, okay, great, I have my website and I have my CRM, and then I have to have this over here and I have to have that over there. I want you to take, and I want you to add up. I want you to literally take your bill of everything you spend money on, and I want you to add all of those together. And then I want you to do a demo with Chime. And I want you to list off, like, okay, I spend this on this. How do you make me work with this? Like, how do you replace this? And then I want you to cross that off your list. And then I want you to look at how much you save. So when I moved over I was with Real Geeks prior. When I switched over to Chime, I ended up saving over $1,100 a month.
Wow. That's all I can say.
The initial price of Chime, I was like, ooh. And they're like, yeah. And I went, okay, well, let me look at, why is this expensive? And I went through it and went, I'm still saving $1,100. So give it a whirl. I mean, like I said, I've tried them all. I'm a big fan. I know you have. I know you're a big fan.
I am,
I
right.
know Randy likes it.
Randy is there, yeah. But you know,
disclaimer, they don't get paid by Chime, but I do get paid by Chime, just so we're all clear.
But here's the thing, and he's just a representative, just right there. But here, we speak from experience. As agents, we know the industry, we know the buyers, we know the sellers, we know the marketing side of our business, we know what landing pages, we know how to create, build, and really leverage our systems and our models to make it more efficient for us. And then at the end of the day, to see business and build those relationships that we want to, and be the go-to agent. And that being said, I've been asked to wrap this up. Well, we were just getting started, Tass. What's going on? But we're right on top of the hour, so we do need to wrap it up. But thank you, gentlemen, for being here. It's always fun to be with you guys. And Brett, some amazing insight with landing pages. I will commit to getting some landing pages done for sure.
Send them over.
Yeah.
I want to see them as you make them. Seriously, send them over to me as you make them, and I'll give you some feedback on them.
Now you're going to hold me accountable? Oh,
heck yeah.
You got it.
Oh, who do you think I am? Of course I am.
Damn. All right, you got it, Brett. Thank you so much again. And
you're welcome.
Thank you, Randy. Talk to you soon. Bye.
See you guys.
I'll take you.
Bye.